Welcome to the 7 a.m. Motivation Hour. And this is your host, Welbon Omar Salaam of Eco Entrepreneurs. And I'd like to start off by just making sure my screen is flipped. Okay. I have to believe one time we had our screen flipped. We were writing backwards. But yes, so we'll go ahead and share our screen and welcome you to the morning and get some motivation going on here. Today is October 15th, 2024. It is a Tuesday. Let's see where we can share our screen. Share, share. There we are.
Do you like having a PO box but are
I have some great news for you. Money is not your money problem. Money is not my money problem. Money's not your money problem. If you have money problems, you don't have money problems because of money. You have money problems because of something else. And I'm going to show you what those something else's are in this video entitled Mind Over Money Mastery. We've all heard mind over matter, mind over matter, mind over matter. Most people who say mind over matter probably don't know what it means, but today I want to talk to you about mind over money mastery. Because when you master your mind can master your money. So, you've all heard me talk about the four levels of value before, and I'm going to draw them on the board, the four levels of value, so you can see them. Larry, you want to change? There we go. Okay, so the four levels of value that exist in the world. By the way, this has existed since the beginning of time. I didn't invent it, I just discovered it. And if you don't really get, like, if you want to make more money, most people think the way to make more money is to work harder. Well, working harder on the wrong thing will not make you more money, it will just make you more tired. Working harder on the right thing could make you more money if a lack of effort is the thing that's missing on the thing you're working on. But most people say, well, you just need to give them more value, more value. I want to over-deliver, I want to over-deliver. Most people, what they call over-delivering is actually overwhelming. And what they do is they put a whole bunch of minutia in their solutions so that you don't know which part to focus on. And so that you become over, I'm gonna make a statement. I believe, whether subconsciously or consciously, that a lot of the coaching programs, courses, and books out there are intentionally, either unconsciously or consciously, designed to overwhelm people so they won't be able to blame the creator if it didn't work. That's what I believe. I don't, consciously or unconsciously. Because what if every coach had to apply the scientific method? What if every coach had to do double-blind studies on all the stuff they teach to make sure it didn't just work for them, but it could work for everybody? So, what are the four levels of value? The lowest level of value is implementation. And on this level of value, you use your muscles over time to make money. Now, if it's true, and I believe it is, that wealth is spiritual, and what creating wealth is a spiritual result, creating wealth is a spiritual activity, and having wealth is a spiritual outcome. If wealth is a spiritual outcome, then
If we have to pause and write down what he just said, creation, no, wait, wealth creation. We said that wrong. Okay. So let's go back to what he said.
It has to be created
Hold on. Let us go back just a hair. We want to catch what he
as a
said.
spiritual activity, and over time to make money. Now, if it's true, and I believe it is, that wealth is spiritual, and what creating wealth is a spiritual result, creating wealth is a spiritual activity, and having wealth is a spiritual outcome. If wealth is a spiritual outcome, then it has to be created in a higher spirit on a higher spiritual plane. So, muscles, are they physical or spiritual?
It's very, very good. He said that wealth is a spiritual. Whew. Gotta hear it again.
To make money.
Wealth
Now,
is a
if it's
spiritual.
true, and I believe it is, that wealth is spiritual,
Spiritual.
and what creating wealth is a spiritual result. Creating wealth is a spiritual
Creating wealth is a spiritual result. Result.
activity,
Oh, activity. Creating wealth is a spiritual activity.
and having wealth is a spiritual outcome.
Having wealth is a spiritual outcome. Is a spiritual outcome.
If wealth is a spiritual outcome, then it has to be created in a higher spirit on a higher spiritual plane.
If wealth is a spiritual outcome, create it has to be created on it has to be created on a higher spiritual spiritual plane.
If wealth is a spiritual outcome, then it has to be created in a higher spirit on a higher spiritual plane.
Right, on a higher spiritual plane. That's what I thought. Got it.
So, muscles, are they physical or spiritual?
Muscles are
They're physical.
physical,
Time, is it limited or unlimited? Time's limited.
limited.
So we have a limit. We have a limited physical resource. We have a limited resource of time. So we're using a limited resource or a physical resource times a limited resource, and we're desiring to produce an unlimited result. It can't happen.
Got you. Unlimited result of money can't happen. If physical plus limited, if physical times limited can't equal unlimited. Right. Physical muscles times limited time can't equal an unlimited result. That is very smart. Oh, I like how this guy thinks because this is math. This is math. Muscles over time. That's actually a division equation. Okay, let's go.
Unless we apply some other principles.
Unless we apply some other principles. So let's go up a notch. We need to apply other principles. As well. I'm not gonna say in place of. I'm gonna say as well because nothing's wrong with working with your physical muscles over time in your lifetime that you're given to work for your family and yourself and your family, take care of everything, and have a result. Everybody's not seeking an unlimited result. Okay. Well, it also depends on what are you seeking. Are you seeking a limited result? You seeking an unlimited result? You seeking a small result? You seeking a big result? What type of return are you looking on your time as this your investment? What are you looking for as a uh as a result of the time you've invested, right? And the work you've done with your muscles, your physical muscles or your brain muscle, they're all the muscles. The brain's so we need to apply other principles as well. All right. So, um, oh yeah, like I was saying, it just matters what your why is. What are you trying to do with that result? What are you trying to do with that result of money that you are looking for? Are you are you trying to give back to society? We're trying to plant trees with half the money we get. Are you trying to what are you trying so if we implement and use our muscles over time to make money, we need to put other principles to get an unlimited result or a bigger result. So let's move to section two. Okay.
So, so if you're working down here in the implementation phase, you're going to be making somewhere between minimum wage and what, 40,000 a year. We'll call it 80,000. Maybe you're a mechanic at Rolls Royce of Orlando or something. Okay, cool. So minimum wage and $80,000. Now, if you want to move up to work at a higher level, the second level is implementation. And on the implementation level, you use your management skills to make money. So you're no longer down here. You're the person doing the thing. Up here, you're the person. And I said implementation. I meant unification. This should be. I got all excited. So sometimes when you get to talking really really fast, you forget what you're talking about. Okay. So on this level, it's unification. And on the unification level, there we go. You use your management skills to make money. You're no longer the person doing the thing. You're the person who's managing the people doing the thing. And so because you're managing the people, you're actually getting a multiplied output from your singular.
So unification implementation skills. We forgot to put the word skills behind that. And then you also have unification skills. Unification skill unification skills uh get your management uses your management skills. Okay? Your management skills are the ones that allow you to unify employees to do a thing that you're not doing anymore from the implementation phase. So Let's go back and listen to what he said. I really apologize for all of this silence and pausing. Let's go back. Little technical difficulties here. We can fix that. Inshallah.
When you get to talking really, really fast, you forget what you're talking about. Okay, so on this level, it's unification. And on the unification level, there we go, use your management skills to make money. You're no longer the person doing the thing, you're the person who's managing the people doing the thing. And so because you're managing the people, you're actually getting a multiplied output.
Now, because you are managing the people, you are getting a multiplied output. All right.
From your singular input.
You're getting a multiplied output from your singular input. Singular input. Okay?
That's called leverage. So you're going to
That's called leverage. Leverage. In fact, I'll put it down here. Leverage. Because I know we're going to get some math going on up here, hopefully.
make more money. How much money are you going to make? Well, this person right here at minimum wage might be flipping tacos at Taco Bell. So you might be a manager at Taco Bell. You're not going to make minimum wage. You're going to make $40,000 a year. And if you're a middle manager at Lockheed Martin or Boeing or somewhere, you might make $250,000 a year. But it's still a ceiling. It's still limited. And when you're making $250,000 a year working for a company, they want you to know that they own you. How many of y'all picking up what I'm putting down? And so they don't care about your kid's game. They don't care about the recital. They don't care about what you missed. They want you at work when they want you at work. Okay, so then if you want to break through to where wealth is created above this line.
My internet.
So you see what he said? Oh, that's the worst way to. Okay. So you see what he said? He said that wealth is created above this line. This line. This line. Why is wealth created above $250,000? Does it really take that much in America to become wealthy? We'll see. Let's continue.
And this is communication. This is a communication level. And on the communication level, the resource you use is your mouth. Now, you have to have a mouth, and you have to learn how to use it. Well, most people have a mouth, but most people also have not learned how to use it. And when I say learn how to use your mouth, I'm talking about use your mouth to create messages that move masses. Use your mouth to have conversations that create cash flow. You have to use your mouth to educate the uneducated. You have to use your mouth to entertain the bored. You have to use your mouth to enlighten the unenlightened. Well, when you learn how to use your mouth that way, and so when you learn how to use your mouth that way, then you might end up being an author. You might end up being a salesperson. You might end up being a coach.
That is interesting. He said on the communication level, you use your mouth to communicate to the masses. So you might be a coach. You might be a mentor. You might be an author. Okay? That's some good stuff. Hold on, let me back this up a little bit.
Well, when you learn how to use your mouth that way, and so when you learn how to use your mouth that way, then you might end up being an author. You might end up being a salesperson. You might end up being a coach. You might end up being a speaker. You might end up being an actor or a singer or a songwriter or a playwright. Some level, but on this level, you're going to make somewhere on the low end between $100,000 a year if you sell cars, all the way up to, it could be $100 million a year or more if you're an A-list actor or an A-list singer. Cool, so you're using your mouth to make money. And then the highest level of value is imagination. Imagination, and on this level, you use your mind to make money. Okay, cool. Well, on this level, you're going to make somewhere between, on the low end, you'll make $1 million a year, and on the high end, it could be billions. Nowadays, it could be trillions, right? Look at Elon Musk, right? So billions. So we have to learn how to operate at a higher spirit, on a higher spiritual plane. And that's what I want to talk to you about today in this concept of mind over money mastery. See, if you're making all of your money down here, now all of us operate at some level on all of these planes. But if the majority of the work you do, let's say 80% of what you do is down here, and maybe another 5% is here, and let's call it 10%. 10% is here, and then 5% is here, and then 5% is here. Well, then you're going to be on the struggle bus. So what do? You flip the script. You figure out a way to make most of your money up here. Do the 80% stuff here, and make this 10, and then this 5, and then this 5. Because all of us have to implement. All of us have to manage people to some degree, and all of us have to communicate, and all of us have to come up with ideas. But the quality of your life, or the quality of your income, the level of your income is going to be mostly determined by the thoughts you have in your mind. And when I say thoughts you have in your mind, have you ever thought about what it means to think? What is thinking? Like, what does it mean to use your mind? People tell you, well, think about it. Everybody tells you to think about it. Nobody tells you how to think about it. Well, what is thinking about it? Thinking about it is asking yourselves questions and then finding the answer, or figuring out the answer. That's what thinking is. Thinking is, oh, ask myself a question. Well, I wonder what's wrong with the car. Okay. And then wonder what I can do about it. Who can show me? Or I wonder how music is made. Oh, I wonder how to play the guitar. I wonder how do they make music come out of this guitar with only 6 strings on it, right? And so how do they memorize all the notes on the keyboard of a piano? And you ask yourself a question, and then you either figure out the answer or you find the answer, and then you focus.
Look at this. Look at this. I'm looking at this chart. I'm listening to what he said. And number one, he said that we use our muscles over time to make, minimum wage to 80,000. We move up a level to to the management level. We make around 40K to 250K. We move up to the communication level. We use our mouth to make money. We from 100K on the low end to 100 million on the high end. We move up to the imagination, the highest level of making money, using our imagination, use our mind. We making a million to billions or trillions, like Elon Musk or Apple and that guy from Steve Jobs. So the thing is, I'm looking at it and I see a pattern when he said, well, ask questions, right? Use your imagination. to figure out how to do a thing instead of just working at the lower end of just doing the job. Ask, how do I become, how do I do this thing? How does that work over there? How does this work? What makes that gear move? What's that? How's that do? What did it? And then that's using your imagination. So let's start at the top. Using your imagination, you're trying to figure out why, how does it work? You know what I'm saying? And then someone will communicate that to you if you seek how it's done, right? And then you need management to be in place and I'm going down the funnel here, down the staircase, just in my own thought process. You need people that are unified, right? Or doing the unification to delegate the tasks to the people that are doing the work down here. See? So now you've created a business, all from your imagination of asking how it's done. Well, how's that work? How's chocolate made? Ah, you might become a chocolatier. You may become the best chocolatier in the world. Why? Because you wanted to know how it's made. What makes it so great? Let me taste 50 different chocolates and see what's the difference. You know, Elon Musk was going to, and it's just a sidebar here. This is a sidebar here that Elon Musk was going to go into the candy business, chocolate, just to upset the not upset like anger, but upset like the there's a word for this. Starts with a D. But basically to disrupt the status quo of, he can't do it, and Warren Buffett is doing it. But Warren Buffett invested in chewing gum. Come on. So he was gonna so Elon Musk recently was gonna start he was gonna start a candy. He was gonna go into chocolate. You know, imagine that. Elon Musk, Willy Wonka. But anyhow, it fits the bill. Come on, Elon, do it. But he tasted many, 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 many different chocolates, and he realized that not much has changed in the best chocolates. So he said there's not a lot of diversity there to be the best of that chocolate. It's still just chocolate. All right. So when I say that you can make a business from this or be in a business from this, either one is true. Either you're going to be in someone's business or someone's going to be in your business, right? When you mind your business, you can make a business. When you mind other people's business, you make their business. All right? Let's continue.
On learning what you just found out about. That's what it means to think. But most people don't think.
Ooh, didn't I say he was going to say that? That was just my thought. Think about what you need to learn from your imagination. Now learn about it. But most people don't think, is what he said. Let's go back. I want to see if what he's talking about, what I'm talking about, align.
Thoughts you have in your mind. And all of us have to communicate out a way to make most of your money up here. Do the 80% stuff here and make this 10 and then this 5 and then this 5. Because all of us have to implement, all of us have to manage people to some degree, and all of us have to communicate, and all of us have to come up with ideas. But the quality of your life, or the quality of your income, the level of your income is going to be mostly determined by the thoughts you have in your mind. And when I say thoughts you have in your mind, have you ever thought about what it means to think? What is thinking? Like, what does it mean to use your mind? People tell you, well, think about it. Everybody tells you to think about it. Nobody tells you how to think about it. Well, what is thinking about it? Thinking about it is asking yourselves questions and then finding the answer or figuring out the answer. That's what thinking is. Thinking is, oh, ask myself a question. Well, I wonder what's wrong with the car. Okay. And then wonder what I can do about it. Who can show me? Or I wonder how music is made. Oh, I wonder how to play the guitar. I wonder how do they make music come out as a guitar with only 6 strings on it, right? And so how do they memorize all the notes on the keyboard of a piano? And you ask yourself a question, and then you either figure out the answer or you find the answer, and then you focus on learning what you just found out about. That's what it means to think. But most people don't think, they just think they think. Most people go around regurgitating slogans and acting as if they know they're true just because they believe they're true. Okay, cool. So what we want to do is we want to put our mind in control of our money. We don't want our emotions to be in control of our money. We don't want the things that we are able to do, our skill sets with the things that we can do with our hands, we don't want that in control of our money. Like, we have to think about it. Now, for most people, thinking about money is really painful. Josh, can you cool it off in here for me? Because I'm hot. Okay, cool. So, I'm going to give you a methodology for making better financial decisions, because I'm going to tell you something. If you make emotional decisions around money, you will be broke. Did I say that too fast? If you make your financial decisions based on emotions, you will be broke. Because here's what I found out as an entrepreneur. Sometimes I don't feel like working. So guess what I do? I work anyway. Sometimes I feel like I've got the greatest idea in the world and I want to abandon everything and just run after this great idea. That's a terrible thing to do. Man, I just saw this thing and I really want to buy it. But if I buy it, I won't be able to pay my employees on Friday. Terrible idea. You can't make decisions, you can't make money decisions based on emotions and get rich. I mean, you can make money decisions based on emotion, but you can't get rich. So you have to learn how to use your mind. So what do you use your mind to do? This is where the wealth is created. You must learn true perceptions, or learn to perceive the truth. You have to learn true perceptions. You don't see things the way they are. You see things the way you are. Did I say that too? I'm going to say that again. You don't see things the way they are. You see things the way you are. And what's really fascinating is, like, this is a scientific fact. This is how the algorithm knows what to feed you on social media. They feed you things you already like, already believe, already think. For perfect example, if you are like a liberal Democrat, they're going to show you all the good stuff they can find about liberal Democratic politics. If you're a conservative Republican, they're going to show you all the conservative Republican stuff. If you like country music, they're not going to show you Beyonce and Michael Jackson. If you like pop music, they're not going to show you Travis Tritt and Clint Black. They're going to show you the stuff that you've already demonstrated you like. Well, guess what? Like, we have this thing in our mind called people call it reticular activation, but it's actually reticular actuation. And what happens is we notice things that we're aware of, and we don't notice things that we're not aware of. So you get a new car, right? You never, like, you saw this car, you're like, oh, this is a really cool car. But you didn't really see them that often, so you thought they weren't that common. Until you got one, it seems like the day after you got your new car. Like, most of the people in town went out and got the same car. Like, why are they copying me? They're not copying you. You've just become more aware of it. And so you have to learn how to use your mind to learn true perceptions. And because most people were miseducated in the miseducational, misdirectional system, most people don't like to do what they think learning is, but that's not actually what learning is anyway. So most people don't want to read because they were forced to read stuff that wasn't interesting, so they think reading is boring. How many of y'all tracking? Right? They learned math backwards in the American miseducational, misdirectional system. And so they think math is hard because the system intentionally, in my opinion, taught them math backwards so that they wouldn't want to think about numbers. And if you don't want to think about numbers, then you won't want to think about numbers when it comes to your money. So
Very, 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 very true. What he said makes sense. He said that people don't read as adults because when they were as a youth, they were told to read things that they thought were boring. So they thought their reading was boring. Reading is not boring. It's what you read. Just like numbers and math. They said that in elementary they didn't like math because they were learning the wrong type of math. They didn't learn math about money, business math. They didn't learn about that. If you were to learn about money and math and money, knowing that that's what you would be having to balance and track and gain the metrics on and save and utilize and depreciate and you know find the expenditures of and generate and dispense with and make better decisions with. As a youth, if you knew that, if you were learning that, you'd have more money. You'd probably not have parted with a single coin. What is it on what's the on the Hobbit, Desolation and Smog, was it the one after that? Battle of the Five Armies, he said I will not part with a single coin. That just came up. I'm sorry. But no, look, you would have made better money decisions and you wouldn't be part of the 80% or the 95% down below the 5% at the top. If everybody knows the wealth secrets, how can the 5% remain the 5%? They can't. If everybody knows the truth, if everybody is, excuse me, everybody may know of the truth, but if you are taught the truth from the beginning, instead of being taught a slight of the truth or what will keep you in a box, then you'll only jump as high as your parent flea, right? There was a study about a flea circus. I'm sorry. Sounds like somebody, two people walk into a bar. No, it was a study about a flea circus. How the parent flea had a top on the box, and the flea jumped and hit his head on the top of the box. Hit his head on the top of the box. Jump, hit his head on the top of the box. And when they had a spawn, they reproduced. They took the right after they reproduced, they took the top off the box, and the baby flea didn't jump any higher than the parent did. The parent didn't even have to teach the child to not jump high. The child just didn't jump high because the parent didn't jump high anymore. Because the parent had hit his head so many times that genetically it was it was inherent in the child not to jump as high. Darn. Guess that child just won't jump high. They weren't taught to jump high. Just like us. If you're not taught to jump high, how can you jump high? You have to, so you are 20 years behind. I need to stop sharing 1 second because I'm writing on my whiteboard and I need y'all to see. Oh, wait. Let's stop sharing. Yeah. You are 20 years behind. Come on, camera. When you get out of high school, shoot, yeah, when you get out of high school, you are 18 years behind. What you are gonna learn in the real world. You've learned, I would say, elementary studies, the basics, math, science, English, social studies. which are foundational, necessary. You must learn these things in order to do things in the world. If you can't learn math, you can't count, if you don't know how to read, you can't learn. If you don't know social studies, then you can't study your social environment. If you don't know science, you don't know how your body works, and you're walking around in this thing, and you don't know about the environment around you and how it works because you're walking around in that thing. These are the four main, they call them core classes. Core. But now, what else is core? Hmm? Your mind, how it works. Your spirit, how it works. Hmm? Let's talk, let's talk metaphysical. Let's talk about the intangible. The things that you can't see drive your outcomes based on your actions. They drive your actions, your thoughts. In school, in English, in math, in social studies, in language arts, which really should incorporate your thoughts. Do they teach you about your thoughts? When you get to college, you learn about psychology. But in grade school, do they teach you about your brain? They tell you have a brain and it thinks and it gets electrical impulses that are passed from neuron to neuron through synapses. That's about it. That's like a math problem. This plus this equals that. Okay. And a thought pops out. Thought. And that thought then can control your hand or your foot. But did they say how to control that? Did they teach you how to control that? No, they didn't. They just said it was either voluntary, remember? Voluntary or involuntary. Well, what does voluntary mean? You volunteered to do it. Volunteered. Involuntary. You did not volunteer to do it. Happens on its own, like your heart beating. Need that. Your blood circulating. Need that. Your lungs breathing or intaking air. Okay. You need that. If you had to think about doing that, beat, 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 blood circulate, blood circulate. Your digestive tract. Hmm? If you had to think about doing all of that, you probably just be thinking about that all day long because it works all day long. But God made it so that we don't have to think about those things. Whew, whew, man, I need those things to work or I'm dead. Okay. But the voluntary things, the things we want to think about, hmm? Things we want to think about, such as eating. You want to think about that. Hold on, let's see. Want, eat. Now you say it's a need, but if it was a need as much as breathing, wouldn't food just automatically appear in your stomach? Involuntary. Now you involuntarily swallow when the food is at the back of your throat, but you voluntarily put it in your mouth. You choose, voluntarily choose. I want this apple versus that orange. You are voluntarily wanting these, what you want, what you need. There you go. You want what you need. Now, sometimes we don't need what we want, but we want it anyway. We want what we want. Huh? The want what you want wastes 80% of your time because you're going after a thing that may or may not produce the optimal output, such as that candy you want. It's not going to produce the optimal outcome. That cookie, it's not going to produce the optimal outcome. It's not going to do anything for your brain, right? But if you switch that and you need what you need, it's as if you just this needy person. You just got your hand out like this. I need it. I need it. I need that. I need this. It's like a baby. You're a baby. Baby. Babies need what they need. They can't do anything about it. It's involuntary what they need. They don't want to be taken care of. They need to be taken care of. They don't want to cry. They need to cry because that's their only way of form of communication. Now, when you are an adult, you either do one of these things. And please don't want what you want just because you want it. There's no purpose. Remember, I said that wastes 80% of your time. You have to you're either gonna need what you want, or you're gonna want what you need. Now, most of us, after we stop wanting what we want, we need what we want. We need what we want. In fact, hold on, pause. I'm sorry. The worst, the worst thing than wanting what you want is needing what you want. If you need what you want, now you've succumbed to your lower desires. You succumb to your need, and now it's an addiction. You need what you want. Want is not the want is the biggest problem. The need is what you need. So the best thing you can do is to, and the highest form of this is to start wanting what you need. Like, case in point, when you're little, you have vegetables on your plate. And then over there you got some fruit. Now, when you when you want what you want, you'll just eat the cake. Excuse me. You'll just eat the cake because you want what you want. A baby, they'll eat baby food because they need what they need. When you need what you want, you need that. You've become a sugar addict. You need that sugar. The sugar is what you want, so now you need it to satisfy yourself. You need that sugar. You need what you want, but those vegetables right there is what you need. Why? It has the vitamin C. It has the the vitamins that and necessary for you. Even has hydration in there. The vegetables. You want what you need. If you learn to love vegetables, you would want what you need. But check this out. Look what V8 did. Remember V8? That nasty tomato juice, that carrot juice. What? The people was like, ew, nasty. What happened when they infused fruit into it and it became V8 Splash? Hmm? Now you started wanting what you needed. They learned to hack this algorithm right here, this equation. They learned to have you want what you need. Now, vegetables were sweet, and it didn't taste like sweet vegetables because they had fruit in it. So they added the apples. They added the oranges, right? They added the pineapple. They added the banana in the form of juice, right? along with the tomato that you didn't like, juice, oh, they added pear juice. I remember pear juice. Um, they added tomato. They added the on top of the tomato juice, on top of the carrot juice, right? On top of the beet juice. I remember I used to drink beet juice. My father used to give us beet juice. I was like, what? Why would a human drink this? He gave us carrot juice. I was like, okay, that's all right. Tomato juice was okay because I used to have tomato bisque, my mom used to make this lovely, lovely lunch with grilled cheese and tomato soup, you know. Dang, that brings me back to a great time. And here's the thing. When you have more reverence for something, have more love for something, it means more to you. You'll eat it more. You'll consume it more. Tomato, I loved more from the soup. The carrots, I liked more than the beets. The beets, I loved the least, but I ate them all when I had wanted what I needed, which was what I needed when I had the pineapple, the apples, the orange, the banana inside of it. So let's make this full circle here. Because if you knew how your brain worked, right? Want, sneeze, voluntary, involuntary, what drives your actions, your thoughts, right? The psychology of it all. Not wasting your time. Not you won't be of the 95%. Come downstairs. So what happens? We need to what? What do we need to do? We need to not be the 95%. How to not be the 95%? Well, think thoughts, think why we should think, be able to control our thoughts, and to be able to control our actions, to be able to voluntarily want what we need in order to get what we need. We need to want it. You need to want to eat your vegetables. You need to want to brush your teeth. You need to want to make your bed. You need to want to learn. You need to want to read. Find the find the silver lining in the thing that you don't like as much as you should. And everybody telling you, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this. And you're like, I don't like it. Well, have you thought about why they said you should do that? Have you even put thought to why they're saying you should read? You should learn math. You should write. Well, look at all of the highest achieving individuals in society. They all read. They all write. They all know math. It doesn't matter if they got it from a college or a high school or anything. They know it because they learned it. They took the time and they learned it. And even as an older person, they go back and they go back and they learn. They read every single day. Warren Buffett, I told you he reads like 5 newspapers a day, inundating himself with information that's on the regular about society and business and culture. And he still remains one of the richest people in the world. How can you remain somewhere when there are ebbs and flows, ups and downs, in and outs? Because he makes sure he stays informed to remain a viable entity. You have to be up to date. Control your thoughts. I said before, Jim Rohn says, stand guard at the door of your mind. Don't let everything through your mental factory. Ew. What will come out in the end is not what you intended. It's what intentionally came into your system, got intentionally put out of your system, and none of it was your intention. Be intentional about your thoughts so you can be intentional about your actions. That's my talk. Okay. I want you to learn how to want what you need in order to get what you need all the time. And you can, I was gonna say beat the street. Uh, you can beat the street life, I would say it, by becoming the 5%, not the 95%, staying in the 95%. Okay. By voluntarily wanting what you need. Just, I am going to do 5 push-ups. You don't want to do 5 push-ups. You need to do 5 push-ups. I am going to walk around the block with my parents if I'm a youth, and with my spouse if I am married. Right, that'll help you in marriage. With the thoughts of achieving and staying disciplined. We talked about discipline before, just yesterday. Discipline keeps you going even when you don't want to do it. Your body has muscle memory. So it's going to continue to help you if you discipline your body, discipline your mind over matter. So you discipline your body first, and your mind, discipline your mind first, and then your body will follow. It will follow suit. We're coming up on 1 hour of talk here, so I'm going to end with this. When you learn the true perceptions of things, not just what you like. Learn what you dislike. Learn what you don't care so much for to stay away from it. When I say learn it, I mean be aware. Be aware. Don't be in the fog and saying, I didn't know nothing about that. Learn about the things that you like, and then learn about the things that you should know about at your age, in your time, for yourself. Become a master of the skills you need to excel. If you're 5, learn 5-year-old things. If you're 10, learn 10-year-old things. No one says you can't learn past that, but you need to learn what you need to know now. You can't skip ahead without learning the basics. Learn, read, write, express. Don't just keep it all bottled up inside. The best person you can study later is the earlier you. So you can compound upon your own thoughts. Kick out what don't work. Keep doing what works. Pick up where you left off. If it was a good thing, if something you said you wanted to do, you wrote it down, you made a journal, you made a diary. Keep your thoughts, be abreast of your own previous thoughts. Don't allow your situation to stop you from learning. That's one thing that you can definitely help yourself in. Don't allow your situation to determine your future outcome. Get busy on learning about yourself. Get busy on learning about yourself. Okay? Learning about your brain. There's something about when you show up for yourself, you show up for your mind, you show up for your future. It makes all the difference in the world to your future self. What you do right now, the disciplines you learn right now, the focus you have right now. Intentionally do the work. If you do what is easy, your life may be harder. If you do what is hard, your life may be easier. Don't find the shortcuts. Jim Rohn said, don't wish life was easier. Wish you were better. Don't wake up and say, darn, today's going to be hard. Say, God, give me the strength to learn more skills, to handle my current situation and progress forward. If it's hard, do it hard, Les Brown said. Life is hard. It's not going to get any easier just because you said, get easier. It's not going to work that way. You have to get better. You have to get stronger. You have to become smarter. Use your intelligence that you already have to get yourself more intelligence in the thing you need. I need to learn how to do this to get that. So learn how to do this to get that. Don't just keep talking about it. How long are you going to talk about it? The longer you talk about it, the less you'll do it. They say measure twice, cut once. I believe that thinking is the measuring and acting is the cutting. I think you should think twice before you do. Some things are irreversible. Most things are irreversible. Everything doesn't have an eraser. They can perfectly erase the actions you did. Well, think about what you want to write, then write it. Think about what you want to say, then say it. Think about what you want to do, then do it. Don't just act, and never look back on the result of what happened. It could be a catastrophe. Catastrophic failures happen when people don't look back and see the ill that they've wrought. The seeds that they have sown keeps just growing and growing and growing, and you never went back to tend your garden. The noxious weeds will take your garden, Rowan said. So, we'll talk about planting in the planting season, tend your garden, and harvest in the harvest season, and you'll have food all winter. As seeds of your mind. We'll talk about that some other time. So, thank you for showing up. I appreciate you. And I hope to see you next time on 7 a.m. Motivation. Have a great day. Take care. Goodbye for now. Assalamu alaikum.